it's part of a package of reform. When a Labour government comes, part of the renewal of this country, symbols of renewal, will be things like that. Because I worked for the Labour Party in the 90s, and when we came in 97, the revising of the constitutional settlement was part of the broader renewal, and I think those symbols are important.
Where would you put it? You said move it out of London.
I think that is open to question. It could be in the northwest, northeast, southwest, wherever, and there's different processes to be able to identify where to put it.
And how big? You said you want it a lot smaller. How big?
Well, right now, it's, as you said, several hundred. I think it's actually over 1,000 people can tip up to the House of Lords if they want to at any one time. I'd probably keep it down into 100, 200. I think the function needs to drive the form. So experts, but how many experts? What fields? So there's business, there's specialisms, and also representation for our regional tier of governance. Whatever that is, it doesn't have to be hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people. It doesn't have to be in London, and it can be in a new environment, in a new building, somewhere outside of London. I think the experience in this country of moving things out of London has actually been very productive. I think when the Treasury campus being moved to Darlington is actually a very productive thing.
See, I do fully agree, actually, in terms of relocating away from London. Why should London be the centre of the power? Get it up north. Do you agree with that? Disagree?
No, I don't. And also, first of all, I think
you don't agree with me.
Well, no, I don't agree at all. I think we, centres of excellence are geographical and ideological. Centres of excellence, right? You go to Hollywood, that's where the great screenwriters are. You go to Bollywood, that's where the great Indian film industry is. You go to LA, that's where the computer games industry is. You go to Silicon Valley, that's where you've got to have people together.
Find the House of Lords of a centre of excellence.
Yes, I do. I think
really?
It is. I think
people will be shouting at my screen. People like Michelle Mern, stuff like that. Centre of excellence.
I think it is. I think it's partly. I think it's got probably 50% of its members are doing a very fine job and are probably better human beings with more integrity than our so-called elected chamber. That's what I think. And I think moving everything about just for cosmetic purposes. Let's all go and sit on the Isle of Wight. It makes no difference.
And I don't think we're moving everything about. And I think your point is right about centres, and it works for the film industry. It works in industry. But this is meant to be the seat of governance for the country. And I think it makes a difference. So just when the BBC was moved to Salford, the Treasury campus moved to Darlington, these things make a difference. And at minimum, the absolute nightmare of trains in the north, something would be done about that a lot quicker.
Has it got better? Has it got better? The BBC hasn't got better. The Treasury, you may think, has got better, but I tell you what, we've got a very inefficient economy. We've got economic decline. The BBC is by no means the greatest broadcaster in the world anymore. We can't trust the news.
And this is an interesting point. So I think what you're getting at here in terms of the Salford thing, the relocation, it's fascinating. I want to get into regions in just a few minutes after the break. But let me ask you, one of the problems that I've got with the Lords, £323 a day is your allowance, right? And by the way, I'm not going to be a hypocrite. If you want to get me in the Lords, I'll be there tomorrow. I'll take it all day long just to get that on the table. But why should they get £323 a day that's not taxed? Infuriates me. Why? What's the justification for that?
I think that it's a function of the Lords being betwixt and between. It's a sort of rituals. It has a ritualistic, ceremonial position where people can do work if they're not and don't have, and some do. But pay a smaller chamber where people get paid properly, and it's not kind of tax-free. And that smaller chamber where you have experts, you have business people, you have our regionally elected governance represented, I think I similarly, for lots of those folks in the Lords, find it really challenging, especially in these current times, that so much money, you kind of punch your card when you go in and you get 300 quid. I mean, it's ridiculous. But I'd have less of a problem with it if it was a tighter, more focused, harder working chamber. And I think there are very hard working people there, but just not all of them.
David, I would go as far as saying you are one of Britain's best businessmen. Tell me, am I missing something here? Because I think it's a disgrace, quite frankly, that this allowance is tax-free. I've asked Lords about this when they've been on my show. I've asked them, what do you think to this? And they kind of say to me, well, it's just difficult to know how to tax it, really. It's not a salary. It's not difficult how to tax it. You put it through, you stick a tax code on it, and you pay your tax on it.
Well, of course they should be paid. Well, you're not missing anything, but we need a new constitution. We definitely need reform of the House of Lords. I think we've got to have an elected chamber with some appointments. Maybe a third of the members could be appointed. I do believe they have to be right next to the Houses of Parliament, the House of Commons, because otherwise there's no interaction. So we'll talk about the regionalisation.
We will.
But there's no way that people should be paid tax-free. That is disgraceful.
But then why has no one changed it? Because that's not a new thing, is it?
That's your job.
Well, there you go. But I'm absolutely astonished.
It's amazing,
well,
isn't it?
how has all of this gone for so long that they don't pay tax on it?
It's because it's a small part of a bigger problem. And the House, Labour started on House of Lords reform, ran out of steam, ran out of hope, ran out of a puff on it kind of sometime in the 2000s. At the point when there's a Labour government and at the point when the House of Lords is abolished, because I think it will be abolished, that will be one of the things that's fixed.
And this is
there's no way a successor organisation has that.
One of my viewers, Ken's written in saying exactly